I guess I was in in India, and I returned from some social work and studying music, and my sister was on the board of the National Bioneers. So, excuse me if I'm a little frog. I've had a long week with the Spearhead Tour and everything, but it started by I went to the actual national conference, and I was inspired and had the idea of fusing that with multimedia and satellites. And so I and a couple other communities, Traverse City, Michigan was really a big spearheader in that, just talked all weekend, and that's where it started, the idea. And now 4 years later, we're still doing it. So and it's grown. It's grown. It's hard to measure the growth because it really is leaders coming together from all different communities to share with this general collaboration of people, and so the ripple effect is phenomenal. And so when I say how much does it grow, actually at the conference we're over 1,000 this year of attendees, people who have been here, and that's remarkable. From of course trying to create the word Bioneers and put it on top of kitchen tables, and people actually now I think are pretty familiar with the movement and what it means to be a biological pioneer, and go out in this world and teach about solution-based work, both social and environmental. Like all events, it's the first year you're really working hard to try to share with people this really cool idea, and so each person that went that year brought 3 people the next year, and that's kind of how just social movements grow, from the grassroots generally, I think. So yeah, it's night and day. I think it's a lot more difficult because the work is now creating us instead of us trying to create the work. That's why we're reaching out for support. It's very inspiring to co-produce an event like this, and have so many people tapping on the shoulders. And stories range from a North Dakota farmer. My first year, actually, it's one of my favorites. He saw the sign, and he went to as they were driving through town 2 weeks before. I saw a poster up and said, I think we need to go to this, because Percy Schmeiser was speaking, and he's one of the most famous lawsuits against Monsanto ever. And so he came back with his whole family, his 3 children, his wife, and he spent the whole weekend. And on Sunday he walked up to me, and we're still doing it as we are now as volunteers, and he said, here's, it was my birthday yesterday, and my family gave me $100, and I just want you to have it. And he was in tears, and he's this big man. He's about 6'5" in overalls, and he had this North Dakotan, beautiful mullet, and he was just a character to behold. And so we both cried and hugged, and his family was crying. I knew he didn't have that much money, but I knew that in his heart, he felt so good to give me $100 to keep this on. And so that's been a seed in keeping me doing this. And that's just one story. This weekend there's a couple people here now who are presenters of workshops and integrative political stuff and mediation work, who have sold their 30-year business from inspiration of attending Bioneers locally, and then of course they went nationally and came back and attended locally again, and now they're just leaders in their communities, doing really needed work. So from the university students who are creating campus climate challenge programs and finding inspiration from Bioneers to the youth programs and the empowerment that we try to offer them. The stories are, there's so many good ones. It's just having a child really grounds you, because you know that all of a sudden you really can foresee what you dream for her, to live in what world. And so I'm just thrilled to just focus more on youth projects. I mean, I have this 1952 Leland British double-decker bus that's in St. Louis, Missouri right now that we're fundraising for to convert into a sustainability tool for education. And the idea is, this bus pulls up to a 6th grade classroom, and 62 kids at a time can get on this bus, and it's just pimped out. It's totally loaded with plasma screens and rockiness, systems, and we're going to be playing music that those kids, know. And because if we're going to be, I'm a young old person, but if we're going to be cool old people, we have to make, we have to get on the same plane with this next generation, so they respect what we're trying to teach them. And so I think that, it's the concept of, in the 1940s, the firemen and women would come to class, and after they would, give a tour of the truck and everything, kids would go home and be like, I want to be a fireman. And so I'm just trying to create the idea of, I want to be a sustainable, person. I get it. And so the kids will get on a bus and with video and sponsors will create a tour of sustainability, maybe a 10-minute video that has to be short and sweet, but rock. And so we'll fly, glider planes through Judith Gap and go to local farmers markets and go to youth programs and aerial art projects like we've done here. And by the time the kids get off the bus and they make biodiesel, which, we'll have to decide if that's a worthy experiment for them, I think she's pooping, they'll really get it. They'll feel like they had a hands-on experience and it moved them. And they're, this is the next generation. And I hope to have more of them. Because they it's just, there's something fulfilling about raising a child, and then also, trying to raise lots of awareness within people. And it's like you're birthing so much more than just your own family in this work. And it's hard work, and it feels indigenous and right. Yes.